All right. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? We've made it to episode 2 of Currentcy. My man Dingo, aka the Dingo in Snow, myself, Nick Gross. We are here today to bring you guys the most up-to-date excitement news of things happening in entertainment, things happening in sports, politics, culture, to have a fun twist and to kind of understand what is happening in the world, and then gain some more knowledge about, you know, what things are going on in the world, and hopefully giving some of that away to other people and, having fun with it. I knew I could get there. That's what we're doing.
Did you get there?
I got there finally.
Are you good?
At 50 seconds, we got there.
You may be a little tired. You had a big weekend.
It was a big weekend. We had a lot of fun. The Dingo and I were up in Eugene, Oregon, having our third Find Your Grind University show on an amazing college campus at University of Oregon.
With our partners?
The Ducks.
No, they're not our partners.
No, I know. That just came out the wrong
our partners.
Sequence. But the Ducks, a legendary team.
Yeah, a legendary college.
Yes.
I think a legendary college. Close to the Nike, very close to Nike, home of Nike. Seems like a very sporting college. We flew right into Eugene, and you just it had that very strong college vibe to it, and it's a very sporty college, being close to the home of the home of the Nike.
Yes.
And we had a great performance. We had yourself, you play with Half the Animal, BlackBear performed.
Yes.
That's the last time he's performing that set.
I know. I feel like we got a special look into that final moment, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Lil Yachty. Which was great.
And then Lil Yachty, and I think that the crowd had a good time. I think that Amazon Prime Student, our partners there, Twitch, I think that they came away super stoked as well. So for us, we're like into our third festival.
Yeah, third one. We got 7 coming up in the fall, so we're pumped.
And I think it's safe to say we're getting better.
Yes, they're getting better every single time. We're learning more about them, and kids are loving it, and the whole thing, man. But most importantly, where are we starting today? What is going on?
I'm going to roll that right off to the tongue. Some people had festivals this weekend that didn't do so good.
Okay.
Well, there are a couple festivals, and we're now going to festival season, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but it seems as though we are now in festival season, and it's flowing. Epic Center, which is the rock festival, was in North Carolina this weekend, and our friend Machine Gun Kelly was one of the headliners, and that went off amazingly.
Sick. MGK, get it.
So the rock festival's still hammering. North Carolina went out with a buzz. I think they had a bit of weather issue, but they still went on. So we saw some great photos there. Festival that didn't go so well this weekend was Rolling Loud Festival in Miami.
Yeah, we did hear about that. So what I hear is that, and I could be totally wrong, cops are invading artist trailers and causing a privacy issue.
So Kodak Black was arrested with firearms that day of, so I believe that was Saturday, day of. And then, to my belief, Lil Wayne, here's what Lil Wayne wrote on his Twitter. To all my fans that came to see me at Rolling Loud, I'm sorry, but I won't be performing. The festival police, not Rolling Loud, made it mandatory that I had to be policed and checked to get into the stadium grounds. I do not and will not ever settle for being policed to do my job. I went on to say, I'll be at Story tonight for the after party, and you can catch me on tour with Blink 182 this summer. Listen, like, the festival obviously went on. Little Skies played the next day. Little Uzi Vert played Wiz Khalifa, Tiger. They all went on to still play, but by him canceling his show Saturday, there was also a fake, there was a stampede because somebody announced that there was an active shooter. Oh. So some people got injured for that on Saturday. So Saturday for Rolling Loud was just... it couldn't have got worse for them. Their headlining act, Lil Wayne, did not perform.
Was that the only artist, or was there more?
Well, Kodak didn't perform because he got arrested. So Kodak didn't perform, was arrested. Lil Wayne just didn't even show up on grounds because he didn't want his bus to get checked. You know, like, I don't know, like, we live in a time. Listen, Lil Wayne's been to jail for carrying a firearm. Lil Wayne has been in trouble with the police a lot. So I get what he's saying, but also you sign up to do any festival, and now as us we're in the festival business, I would say, and if Lil Yachty didn't show up on Saturday night, we would have not had a good day.
No, it would not have been a good day.
Right.
And we were kind of close to that. Yachty showed up, what was it, 45 minutes late?
It was a little late.
We didn't know if we were going to have a festival or not, but we did.
So it's like for me to read into this and now look into it, we're giving away free festivals and we are giving away an experience for young kids, and it's all about career paths. These guys are obviously in the festival business. Rolling Loud is a big business. And they've been doing it a long time, and obviously they have great relationship with all these artists, or else these artists wouldn't show up.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, if you're headlining something like that or such a big piece of what this festival is, it's kind of like, dude, I mean, I hate to say play by the rules because that's kind of the opposite of what I would normally say, but at the same time, come on, man, you can't just bail out of a big festival like that, a notorious festival, for the sake of just trying to keep your, illegal stuff less illegal.
Your reputation, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it goes into, here by Wayne doing that now, he's only going to cause more problems for him this summer.
Yeah.
He's made himself a target, and he's going to make it harder and harder for himself when people, especially the authorities, know where he is. And I just hope that doesn't carry over. I hope that the tour with Blink-182 this summer goes off really well. And, it's just a bummer. It's a bummer that Rolling Loud had to go through that. And it seemed, the Saturday for Rolling Loud was not a good day. But I went on, their socials and followed what they did on Sunday, and Little Skies and Uzi and Pump and Wiz Khalifa, and everybody went on and did their sets. And it seemed like Sunday there was no wrongs. But
Sick.
Saturday, it couldn't have gone any worse. Cardi B also did a big performance there on Sunday. But Saturday couldn't have gone any worse for them, news related. A false active shooter, an arrest, and then your headliner not coming onto campus.
I can only imagine what that's like, as you're driving the bus to the festival and then turn around the other way. We are not going to the festival. We have about 1,000 firearms on board and a lot of drugs.
We're going to jump into something that you know a lot more about now. We're going to jump into the NHL playoffs.
My time. Oh, yes, let's go.
Boston leaves two. Look, Boston is up now 2-0.
They are up 2-0, man, and they have scored 11 goals in 2 games. It's been quite the series so far. I'm sure Carolina is trying to figure out and dive deep into, what they need to be doing to fix this issue. But there have been a lot of goals let in, and they're at least heading back to Carolina now for the next 2. So hopefully they can, even the series up. But so far, Boston Bruins have shown themselves to be a leading team in the finals here in the East. And the Sharks are up. Sharks are up 1. We got a game tonight, so they could put it up 2-0 and make it very difficult in the West as well, for the Blues to kind of come back there too. But I would like to see a Sharks Boston Bruins, final Stanley Cup. I really would. I would like to see the Cup in California. Of course, we want to see the Cup in California, but I think Boston and San Jose would be a really good series, man. Cool. And we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the show too. We're going to work on doing Currentcy on current events, and then I've got a little lesson that we're going to learn today on one of our topics, and then we're going to finish with just a couple predictions of what's going on. And I know that you're a big fan of this one. We're going to jump across to the NBA. Last night was probably one of the best finals games in a long time. Oh my God. Closing out in Game 7, I mean the Trailblazers closed out the Nuggets, so the Trailblazers are moving forward. Yeah, in Denver, that was a hard one to see Denver kind of go out like that, and they've had a couple good seasons. It's just hard just to see them get Game 7. You wouldn't have thought that Portland would be where they're at right now, but they are. Do you know what I'm excited to see though? What? Seth Curry, who is Steph Curry's brother, plays for the Portland Trailblazers. Does he really? So he's now up against, for the Western Conference Finals, he's now playing his brother Steph Curry. Is he really? Yeah, he's on the Portland Trailblazers. Seth Curry is now playing Steph Curry. Where has Seth Curry been, dude? This is the first time I'm hearing about Seth Curry. This is ridiculous, but how cool is that? Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I've always... Do we know what position Seth Curry plays? I don't think he's a starting 5. Right. He might be, but I don't think he is. But he's on the roster of the 11 people they bring to every game. He's been playing every game. Their parents, like the Curry's parents, mom, and mom's very hot, and God dad, bless her. God bless, and dad have been at all the games. So you'll see him on TV at the Portland game, and they're obviously at the Golden State games. So now they're going to be joined, and I think that's hard for their parents. Golden State Warriors are
I mean, the best NBA team in the last 10 years and are leading on to a legacy that maybe nobody's ever done before.
Yeah.
If they win this year, it's, I think, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Well, 3 in a row with a break there.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully mom's happy either way. But also, too, is this the shortest distance between two teams that have played in the Western Conference? You got to think Portland to San Francisco. That's pretty short.
It is pretty short, actually. That's like an hour flight. Yeah, that's hour and 10 minutes.
No, I mean, that's like an hour drive.
It's not an hour drive.
But you know what I'm saying. It's close.
It's an hour drive in a private plane. Let's talk about the 76ers and the Raptors, because the Raptors closed out last night.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
What a beautiful shot, man. Legitimately, I don't think that was the biggest nail biter of a situation. So Leonard goes and misses his last free throw. 76ers go back, get 2 points, tie the game up. The guy's feeling awful. He's missed his free throw. And who is it, nonetheless, to get that game point winner?
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and it was amazing, man. It was like the thing hits the hoop 4 times, goes around in some circle. It was gnarly. It was one of the best shots I've seen. And the guy was like, he took his shot and then stood in the back corner next to his team and just kind of like was praying that shot was going to go in, and it did. And it was a really cool moment. He's going to go down, and for Toronto too, dude. I'm stoked for Toronto to advance, man, and him coming from San Antonio and just kind of going through what he was going through. I think it's cool that he kind of reignited his belief in himself for the Toronto Raptors and just the belief in his team. And I'm just stoked for Toronto in general. I think it's great.
Also, he's a free agent.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So we're going to come back at the end of the show with predictions of what's going to happen the week coming. So I'm going to wait on your predictions for that.
Yep.
We're going to jump right into a bit of politics and world trade. It's been all over the news, and it came in on Friday. China puts a new tariff on 60 billion of US goods and stock prices. It's been a bad day for the New York Stock Exchange or the New York Stock Exchange or anybody there. I watched a little bit this morning.
Man, I think we're down below 600 today, which happens, by the way. I feel like with the stock market in general, you know, the game is an emotional game, right? When people see that the stock market is, you know, taking a dive, the immediate reaction is to get out of the market. What's happening? People are freaking out, which takes it even down even farther. So, but in history, there have been strategically, or statistically, I should say, much more. There's always corrections and always big bear markets in times of things like this. You know,
Facebook 5% down, Uber
crazy
down, 5% down. Some people have had some of their... but anyway, so I'm going to read this in. China is posing a new regulatory tariffs on 60 billion worth of U.S. goods days after the Trump administration said it would impose higher tariffs on a 200 billion in Chinese goods. The latest T4 TAT exchange comes as the trade talks after failed yield a deal. The U.S. stock price has plummeted. That's what we just kind of talked what do you think is going to happen here?
In general?
Like, is the Trump administration or is Trump lying to us about his relationship with China? And is it not as tight as we thought? Because it seemed like he had a great relationship and everything seemed to be going pretty good, but it obviously not.
Well, he seemed to be having a great relationship with Kim Jong-un as well. And we've seen how kind of things that are happening over there on a day-to-day basis as well. So you never can tell. I mean, this topic to me is something that, you know, I try and stay out of. But the stock market is interesting to monitor and always watch how this happens. But I would say that on days that take these big turns, get involved with the market. You know, this is an optimal time to now get inside of the market when things start to drop at 4 or 5% overall. So for all you guys looking to get in the stock market to start investing into, you know, what's happening in that world, I would say now's a good time. Take it when it's down. Get in when it's down.
Right. Okay, there you go. That's a good tip from you, actually.
You know?
Yeah, because you know a lot about stock exchange and how these markets work. So I like that you're giving people insiders on that, because I know that you are somebody that likes to put his money places.
You know, yeah, it's fun. I'm not the most educated person on the planet about it, but I do have small little tips and trades about it.
Listen, I know something that you are very excited about. And you are excited about teaching youth and teaching anybody about career paths and jobs of the 21st century and where we're at right now. And I just wanted to grab a little article from Forbes that April job reports tell us that kids need math skills for future, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. April job report released this morning shows that the U.S. added a total of 263,000 jobs this past month. Professional and business services and construction industries gained the most, while retail trade, primarily generating merchandise stores, lost a total of 12,000 jobs. Healthcare and professional services continue to see more of the hiring numbers and since the start of 2019. So that's good that jobs are up.
Yeah, I mean, it is good that jobs are up. I mean, what else about this?
Well, what I'm saying is this story is actually leading to that we're not teaching, our kids don't have enough math skills. So CEO reports and the reports that go down here.
But why is that? I mean, I don't understand.
Listen,
Kids need more math skills? That sounds ridiculous.
I'm going to read on. Okay, I'll read on. These growing industries offer significant opportunities for the workforce emerging from the education system. What potential employees may not realize, though, is how dependent those jobs are on strong with math skills and the ability to work comfortably with numbers. In fact, we are all not to notice that practical math parameters on our daily lives, from calculating the right gratuity at a restaurant to interpreting dosing information for medications to negotiating good financial terms to new mortgage.
Just stop. This is. I mean, well, from my perspective, and we come from a different place with this. If you need math skills into something that you're interested in pursuing, I think it's great to have a base of knowledge in math, get your brain working, right, as you develop. But to me, I think instead of the math skills, go get life skills, go get adaptability skills, go get things, because it's like we know how often kids are now going to have to change and adapt in terms of careers. We know how important experience is for people to understand whether these things are what kids are interested in, like getting the actual experience and going and doing the thing, I think is much more important than having math skills that could hopefully align you with some type of job or career, unless it's something that you absolutely want to be doing. If you want to be an engineer, be great at math, All right. So am I speaking out of term or
No. It's all, listen, I on this subject, I agree with you because I again, like everything I've used in my life, I mean, I didn't have a degree in anything. I didn't graduate high school, but I've been working since I was a teenager. So in my life, I didn't need math skills, but it's this study. And like I said, like I'm just pulling certain studies in education because it's so important for us. And I want people that are listening to us to know that we genuinely do care about this, which we obviously do, right? And I think that we have found with Find Your Grind, and we have found a way to take your skill sets that will then give you the lifestyle that you want to lead, which we're saying, nobody wants to be defined by a job. You want to be defined by a lifestyle, right? And we are trying to create that opportunity for you to take your strongest assets and strongest skills to be able to lead that lifestyle that you want to lead. So business and industry leaders across many fields have emphasized for years that numeracy is key to skill set to look forward to when to hire. All right. So going down in here with the last few years, a business roundtable survey found that 59% of CEOs had a hard time finding students with fundamental math skills. 3/4 couldn't find qualified workers in the specific STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So are kids just not learning about that now?
No, I think they are absolutely learning about it. I mean, it's awesome to see. Will.i.am's organization, who we're really close with, focuses on nothing but STEM related type of things. And I think it's obviously very important. There are a lot of kids and a lot of people out there that are very passionate about those topics and about, and hopefully STEM related things can lead people to amazing careers in those fields that, are more current. Let's say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Listen, it's not something that I really ever want to talk about, but we spoke about in our last episode after the last shooting in Colorado.
Yep.
The next day, Florida made a rule saying teachers can carry firearms in school.
Oh my God. That's crazy,
so
dude.
that became a real thing.
Holy smokes. I think I brought that up last week.
You did.
Just like,
you
I don't
did.
know. And I wasn't an advocate for it just because I feel like, I don't know, if I put if I step into the role of a teacher now who's just been hired, if I'm passionate about teaching and I just got hired by a school, I'm in Florida, but now I got to figure out how to carry a firearm. I mean, it's just so counterintuitive to I don't know. There's no feeling of safety. There's no feeling of, I don't know. It just gets harder to teach at that point. If you also have this other responsibility of making sure you can go use a firearm against some student, it's just gnarly.
Why I'm always going to bring these stories for us to talk about is going back to Mike Smith, our business partner, who spent a career and a life going and speaking to high school kids and going into schools. Myself and you now have been going to high schools now for many years now, and we are in the same boat of like me and you going to schools, and there are signs telling kids what to do when there's an active shooter.
Yeah.
So I then feel like that we are a part of this. I'm not reading these stories out to say, yes, do that, or no, not do that. I'm bringing these stories to our attention because we're in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
And we have, met or been told about the janitor that has the gun locked away in this locker and has this locked away in this way in case it all happens, right?
Yeah.
And it was just ironic that we did speak about the Colorado shooting, which we will speak about all of these because we have to get the word out there, and kids' safety is everything. But like that's a big step.
I think that it just in general, that step to me.
And I'm not saying that step's right or wrong.
Right. I just feel like in general, it's great that people are trying new things and trying new steps to prevent this problem at the end of the day, whether we think it's right or whether we think it's, dude, try it. Like, man, you never know. If that's teacher who was armed with a weapon, this happens in Florida and that teacher saves lives, like, amazing. Why wouldn't we try that?
All right, case and scenario here. Say you are thinking about going and shooting up a school or shooting anything up. Are you less likely to do it knowing that every single teacher has a gun in their room? Are you less likely to do it knowing that fact, or that doesn't matter?
I think if you're that sick, you're not thinking
at all
that strategically about it. I think you're just sick in the head and want to go do something crazy like that. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it is a factor. I think that the ability for these things to hopefully not happen again. Hopefully this is a solution towards that.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Something else I want to bring to your attention is Colorado made a big move this week behind the Mile High City journey into magical mushrooms. It looks like they've made it legal to grow and sell mushrooms in Colorado. Is Colorado now just going to be the gateway for? Is Colorado going to be the gateway now for everything like this? Like, what comes after mushrooms,
man. Dude? I know, right? What's next? Because I've been to countries where you can go and legally buy mushrooms, right?
So it's not like it's the first ever, but like, what is the state of Colorado setting, and like where does it end or where does it begin? Because I feel like I get it with marijuana. I get that marijuana can come in and they can do so much with that money, and they have. Mm-hmm. Fixing public schools, fixing roads, like what they're able to do on taxing marijuana. But is marijuana a big enough business to where that actually has any relevancy, or is it just so that people that get high on mushrooms can now legally go get high on mushrooms?
Well, the state of Colorado is obviously very accepting. We can see that, but I think the next state maybe in line to approve something like that might be Eugene, Oregon, based upon our last weekend we had there. But hey, dude, all the power to them. I agree with you. I don't know what their goal is with that, other than just to be, hey, we're Colorado. We are accepting and we are open to experiences that human beings need to have in this world.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's Mental Health Awareness Month, all month here in the world now in May. Something that I just want to, we've been speaking about it, and there's, it's a hard time for anyone with mental health problems or depression, and that I'm someone that has dealt with it myself. I've dealt with it with my family. It's something that means like a lot to me, and I will forever like advocate mental health and do anything I can to help save many lives, whatever it takes. So it's Sonny Garcia has now been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and there's a GoFundMe page that's been set up to help support him. So
were you close with Sonny, or you had a couple of experiences with him?
Yeah, I've had a couple of experiences with him. I'm not close with him, but I've had some phone calls over the last couple of weeks from people that are up there dealing with him and his family, and because of the situation I went through with my brother, and just the action sport industry being so small, I know people that work with him for a long time, and it's a very hard time for the surf community, the community of Hawaii, to like understand like what he's going through, and Sonny has advocated advocacy said that I don't want to be here, you know, and I think we now really need to look into that. And if someone says they don't want to be here, we need to pay close attention to them and understand why, because it's only a matter of time until something happens once they keep putting it out there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, dude, hearts definitely go out to Sonny Garcia and his family and the whole thing. I mean, do you have ideas, Dingo, on any types of solutions when things like this start to happen? I mean, I know we're starting to, attempt to address these things in schools, you know, through the things that we're creating and whatnot. But outside of schools, obviously there are, you know, you see all the over medication for things like this. You see all the, you know, what are other solutions, man? You know, and it's so hard when people are going through what they're going through. It's just, you know?
Yeah, I think that the world we live in today, we live with so much pain, and it's so hard for us to understand why that person has more pain than us, or they can't deal with these situations more than we can. And I think now we need to look at the signs of people that are doing it, and try and understand why. And I think that from my side, or what I've seen, it's like it's a lot to do with identity. Mm-hmm. I think that once you've been a world-class athlete, or you've done a big business deal and you've been up here, having that being taken away is almost like your identity be taken away, and these people not being able to live or fit into regular society and feel normal or accepted. Yeah. And I think like a huge part for us in mental health is something we're working on with Find Your Grind, is to have kids, or start teaching kids to be aware of it at a very young age, so we can figure out what the signs are, or they can figure out what the signs are, and grow with it. So if we see somebody, a family member or somebody we care about, and they have the signs, that we can address it and get there before it's too late. Because right now we're not getting there. Yeah, it's like we're getting there too late. Yeah, and they're letting us know it. Like, you know, it's my brother was telling me that he didn't want to be here, you know, so it's like I had to understand why, but he was like, if it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't be here. So I'm like, all right, he's got kids, he's going to be okay, but that's not the case at all. He's crying out for help the whole time. And I'm somebody that's, you know, I'm a suicide survivor, so it's like everyone's problems are different, but we just need to really try and understand why they are going through this process and help them get out of that, because like having kids grow up without fathers is a world we do not need. We just don't need it. Yeah,
and like just going back to your point of identity, I think that is such a core piece to this entire equation here, right? Of just like, okay, your identity is really, what is your identity? It's governed by, you know, I think that starts with your self-confidence, right? Yeah. And self-confidence comes from self-trust a lot, right? Of just being able to be accountable to yourself. You know, it's just like, hey, self-trust comes from, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym. Yeah. And once you actually do those things and you're accountable to yourself, that builds your self-confidence, and your self-confidence relates directly to your self-identity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When those things start to slowly break down, you start to see some of these type of things unfortunately start to happen, you know? Yeah. But it's an interesting one.
And I can say that, you know, and I know you back me on this, is that we are going to work our hardest and get the right people involved to put out products that help people get through this process, or help this process not happen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or get less of it, because it's only going to get worse. Somebody I want to talk about today was Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
He was shot, it's been over a month now. And what I've noticed is that he's very relevant. Yeah. And I've been trying to like understand why that is. So I pulled up a few clips today, and there's people we know, and I've been, and the rap community is obviously very hurting. You know, The Game and YG and these people advocately post about him every day. And we've seen a lot of this happen over the course of the last couple years. And somebody passes away or something happens, and it's the topic of that week. Yep. And then it goes away. Yep. Nipsey seems to be gaining traction, right? Yeah, and I'm trying to understand that. So the LA Times did a pretty big story on him over the weekend, and I just want to read you a couple things here. the day before the day before he got shot, he was supposed to meet with LAPD Chief Michael Moore and the police commissioner, Steve Sobroff, to talk about ways that he could help stop gang violence and help young kids. Hustle, who was born in Aminas, was a popular hip-hop artist. After releasing his highly anticipated debut album, Victory Lap, in 2018, sorry to go on to here, he'd done a lot for his local town. He owned a burger place, he owned a barber shop, and he was a big advocate of helping young kids. There was one school that he had come in and he had bought every single kid in the school shoes. And basically I was trying to understand what else he was doing for his community, right? So it's like he was working behind the scenes avidly to build this community and be a leader, right? It was way more than just his music.
Absolutely it was, yeah.
And now that I'm seeing with what he's trying to do here and how he was trying to raise money and what he was trying to do, now people are going to come running to Nipsey or come running to what he was trying to help out in anything in the community. And obviously he was very highly looked at in his community. But I think with the leadership he has, that it's going to carry over to lots of communities, right? And I think that the lesson that we're going to learn today is it's about legacy, right?
Yeah.
And I think that lots of sports people, you would know this coming from the hockey side or just sports people in general, always talk about it's about the legacy you leave behind once you're gone. And that's not saying that they'd passed away or anything, but obviously he has. And I think that we are going to remember Nipsey not just for his music, but we're going to remember Nipsey for what he did within the community.
Yeah, and I didn't understand all that he had been doing for the community for such a long time, using his music as a foundation to be able to go out and create positive impact and change for the community that he lived in and obviously, the world. I really didn't until this whole incident happened, and it's amazing, man. And it's awesome. It's like you see, even with Mike's book, our partner Mike Smith created Legacy Over Likes, which is awesome. And just kind of this conversation around how to create your own legacy and what that actually means and the things that actually go into that. And it has to come from a place of your heart, of just wanting to be able to make real change and be a good person. So that's super cool, man.
So what I'm like, I guess like what I'm trying to get at here is that, and I think you kind of just said it, but it's like, what are you doing every day that makes you a better person? And it doesn't need to be in the limelight, because Nipsey wasn't in the limelight for helping his community. Yeah. This has been stuff that he's been doing a long time, and it started with his community. Yeah. And by able to give jobs or help out in the schools or help to like lower taxes in these areas or help to raise money, he wasn't doing that and trying to take a limelight for it. It's now taken limelight since he's passed away, and that the news is still talking about what he was doing within his community. And I don't think that is going, I think that's only going to grow, right? And I think that you need to think about who you are and being a better person and helping your community out, right? I think you've been doing that for a long time, and I think you get a lot out of helping people and not taking recognition for it.
Yeah, it's just don't do it for the community service hours, do it for, the things that happen behind the curtain are often the things that mean the most. And don't show up to something to get your community service hours in. Do it because you genuinely want to be there and want to help and make an impact in the world,
So that's it. So every week I want to try and like pick up a story where like we can learn a lesson from it to better ourselves and better our listeners, and like pick out like something there that is like, what did we learn from this? And we learned being a good person behind closed doors is the right thing to do. And it's like, It's even like going to like I when I was back home for Christmas, I went to a wedding. I came home and I had the taxi driver drop me off at my primary school. I went to school all suited up, and I walked to primary school. And I picked up all the trash. It was in school holidays, and I picked up all the trash around my primary school and put it in the bin. And I was like laughing to my head. I was like, man, like imagine if the teachers knew that me of 33 years of age would walk back into my primary school and pick up the paper. I was like not school captain. I was captain of our sports team, and I was always a part of everything we did, like to the top level. And I always was able to use my voice. And when I was younger, it was like swimming and football, and then snowboarding obviously got me to where I was going. But I was like laughing in my head at like midnight on a random Saturday night. I'm in a suit walking around picking up trash, and it's about doing the right thing. You don't need to tell people you're doing it.
Yeah,
it's just about doing the right thing.
You wouldn't imagine the chief misfit officer going and picking up trash at his primary school.
So I just every week I want us, and me and you too, I want to be able to teach a lesson about something good that somebody's done or a topic we're talking about, and just like that's very important to me.
No, I dig it. And so are we gonna end this thing with
current events?
Predictions.
So this weekend too is coming up. It's obviously festival season. EDC in Las Vegas is this weekend. So
snap!
Big shout out to everybody going out there. I've been many times, and
oh boy,
that is a fun weekend. I want your quick predictions.
Give it to me, baby.
Trailblazers and Warriors. Game 1 starts tomorrow night.
Warriors.
Yep. Are you saying Warriors for the
I want to say Warriors 4-2. Take the series.
Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh my goodness, man.
Game 1's Wednesday.
Can we believe we're saying Milwaukee Bucks in that same conversation?
It's hard to say. And the Greek Freak is like the best player in the NBA, and nobody knows his name.
I know, it's unbelievable. I watched a documentary on him, though. It's a pretty special story. I really hope Milwaukee, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I'm going to go on record. But Toronto Raptors, Game 7, take it all.
Game 7. All right. Bruins and Hurricanes match. It's not a game, right? Is it a match?
No, it's a game. I'm going to say that series, Bruins are going to take it 4-1.
Okay. And then on Friday is the Sharks and the Blues.
Sharks and the Blues, yep, we got a game coming up, but I'm going to say Sharks 4-2. They take the series.
Okay, and then coming up in G, it's the G20 meeting in June. It's announced that Trump will meet Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping.
Oh, snap. Get a GoPro on that one.
What's your prediction on what's happening? What's happening there? What's happening there?
Putin takes Trump's life and the world's over.
Okay, and then I just wanted one last thing to show you because like it's hilarious. Lakers got a new coach, Frank Vogel.
Yeah, don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, neither do I really. I did a bit of research, but I not much.
I know
really came up.
Jason Kidd's coming in. That guy's a bulldog. Get that guy in there.
Yeah,
I don't know. He feels pretty bulldoggy.
Yeah,
maybe he could help.
He's the step captain. He's the step captain. And then the only other thing there, that was it. Actually, that's basically everything we got through. Prediction: Game of Thrones. Everyone dies.
Game of Thrones doesn't re-up for a new season because everyone dies.
We already know they didn't re-up.
Shows you how out of touch I am with Game of Thrones. I might be the only person on the planet that's this out of touch with Game of Thrones. I can't do it, man. I can't sit there and watch this shit. I can't.
All right, and that's going to conclude us. I couldn't even say conclude.
That colludes us.
All
right, guys.
You'll get to know that I make up words all the time, but I keep going.
They're great words. You're a very phantasmagorical human being over there. Yeah.
Hey, did you see Vladimir Putin eat shit ice hockey?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Oh.
Did he?
Oh my God, did he ever?
Did he? How bad? It couldn't be as bad as my hockey injury.
All right, we'll end it on this. Just wait. So he scored a goal.
Okay.
He's now skating.
Yeah. No, that was him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Wow, that was amazing. All right. Hey, Currentcy, episode 2. That was a lot of fun. We will see you guys next week for episode 3 with myself, Nick Gross, and the Dingo. Take care, y'all.